This is BaseDaKID, the hardcore casual, in association with the Undefeated podcast, proudly sponsored by Disturbing Sports London, and I'm delighted to be joined by fellow member of the channel, Denzel, Too Sharp Bentley. Denzel, how you doing, man?
I'm all good, thanks, man. And yourself?
I can't complain. Now look, before we get into why we're all here at this press conference, I just want to take it back to last weekend real quick. Obviously at your call, Elizoro against Luca Duatenzi. Now, that card was a pleasant surprise. I wasn't expecting as many of those matches to be as competitive as they were. Now I know you wasn't necessarily there watching every single fight, but of the cards, what sort of fights did you enjoy watching?
No, I watched every single fight. Yeah, I watched every single fight. It was a good card, man. Like you said, a lot of fights were competitive. I think the standout performance for me was Masood Abdullah against Mark Leach. He literally blew him away, man. And the fight for me on that card was Joshua Frankham and George Davey. That was an incredible fight, man. I mean, yeah, I didn't expect that, but yeah, that was a good fight.
No, look, I think everyone said that was a standout fight of the card. Now, there's a bit of controversy because the majority of the people in there felt like George Davey actually won the fight 4 rounds apiece with the knockdown, but Joshua Frankham got it. I mean, from your opinion, how did you see it?
To be honest, I wasn't sure if that was a knockdown or not, but it got counted as a knockdown, so I get that. But I think that round, Frankham came back strong. He finished that round strong, so you can't necessarily score that at 10-8 straight away. You know what I mean? I think he kind of drew a point back. It could be a 9-9 round, because I don't know, but or 9-8 instead of 10-8. So yeah, I think kind of he drew that round back a little bit, and he finished that 8th round very strong. And it was a close fight, man. It was a close fight. I mean, at times it was like, oh, where's this going? I mean, both fighters fought hard. When one pushed, the other one pushed back harder, and that's what makes it a good fight. The fact that different people have different, decisions on who won. There wasn't a one-sided fight. It's like he won or he could have won. So, I mean, it probably make for a good rematch. But with a title on the line next time, I think both fighters, you got to give them credit for going into that in an 8-rounder. A lot of fighters wouldn't do that. They'd be like, no, I'm undefeated. This should be for a title. But they risked it for an 8-rounder. So you got to give both of them credit for that. They put on an amazing fight, amazing show. I mean, Georgie Davey didn't do himself any harm in losing that fight. If anything, he probably won more fans. Now more people have seen him. But, I mean, it makes for a good rematch, innit? Like, people are undecided on who won, but it was a good fight, man. I mean, I'll definitely watch a rematch, especially if there's a title on the line as well.
No, my sentiments exactly. I do want to see a rematch over 10 rounds or even 12 with, like you said, maybe a regional, southern area, English, whatever. Yeah, exactly. Love it. All right, so moving on to now this event, Magnificent 7. It's a concept that's been done before, but this is the first time you get to be on it. Yeah. Up in Manchester. Like, talk to me about you and Nathan Heaney. I mean, he's an undefeated guy ultimately, so they always say that the hardest guys to beat are the ones that have never been beaten before. They don't know what it's like to lose. So how do you inflict that first defeat on him?
No, it's true, man. I mean, he's going to come and fight his heart out, especially where, this is his dream title. He's always wanted to win a British title and stuff, so it's just going to be the best version of Nathan Heaney that we'll probably potentially see. Or, I mean, shape-wise, he's going to be in the best shape possible, whatever, and I can't allow that. Basically, I got to make sure that I come there, stamp my authority, and make sure that I leave there with my belt and because his is on the line as well. So it's going to be a tough fight. He's going to put it all on the line. He's going to try and come out better than he did for the Flatley fight, which I think was his best performance. But I just got to make sure I'm myself. I got to be myself. I got to stay relaxed. Can't let the crowd get to me. I can't let them throw me off my game. I got to silence them and silence him.
Now, the fact he's only got 6 KOs on his record, is that something that gives you more of a confidence? Like, okay, I feel that I can take the shots if they come, or are you still going to be preparing? Like, you know what, I still ain't trying to get hit, because you never tell in this game.
You know what? That's so crazy. I didn't even realise he only had 6 stoppages, but I don't look at that. Anyone can punch at any given time. All they've got to do is land the right shot. And maybe on some of their opponents, he thought he hasn't found the right shot. But I'm not going to go in there and think he can't punch. I mean, he's a grown man. If any grown man hits any grown man, it's going to hurt. You know what I mean? Whether it knocks you out or not, it's going to hurt. So I'm going to go in there and make sure, minimum damage. I'm not trying to get hit. Obviously, listen, it rains, you get wet. So I'm going to go in there and just, be prepared, be defensively responsible, and look for that stoppage, essentially. Because I think I'm looking for the stoppage for this fight. Well, yeah, for my last 5 fights I had, but yeah.
So, how much notice prior to obviously when it was announced a couple of weeks back did you get for the fight itself, and how long have you been in camp?
I mean, it's been in talks for quite a while. You know what I mean? But it was like whether it's going to happen or not. And I'm always in the gym, so if you say camp starts when when the fight's announced, and I probably had about 8 weeks, which isn't bad for someone that's always in the gym. So, I mean, I don't think neither of us were given short notice or anything. I think we both given the right amount of time to kind of think about or realise whether the fight's going to happen or not. So it depends on whatever you done with that time was up to you. That's if you thought this fight wasn't going to happen and you didn't want to train, then that's your problem. But I stay in the gym anyway. I wanted to be back out again this year, so I stayed in the gym anyway. And then so from the fight was announced, I had about 8 weeks.
Now, what have you been working on this camp? Obviously, because it's not just about him. I feel like you're someone that's trying to work on things to improve yourself for the next opponent, as well as obviously getting ready for who you're fighting. So has there been anything different that you've been working on in this one, or things that you've been fine-tuning that maybe you haven't done in previous camps?
Yeah, no, there's a lot of things that I'm working on, a lot of things that I look at and I want to improve on, but like more than anything is the defence in it. So I've been working a lot on my defence in this camp and the last camp, to be honest. Working a lot on my defence. I mean, my last 2 camps was against the Southpaw, so now I was just getting back to that orthodox kind of style, which obviously after a few spars comes back quite naturally. But more than anything is just defence, and not just for this fight, just moving forward. I need my defence to be, you know what I'm saying, like tip-top, you know, because the more you move up in level, the better people get and the harder they hit, and you don't want to be going out like, you don't want to go out like that. So I'm working on my defence.
Now, you said obviously you're looking to get the stoppage, you're always looking for the knockout. If you were to assess him, what do you feel is like, without obviously giving away any major weaknesses, like what do you feel you have to do in order to implement that? Is it a breaking down job? Is it looking for that maybe a one clean shot? How do you kind of envisage the fight going?
No, I never look for a one clean shot because I don't think that's how I knock people out. I mean, I have before, like with Kieran Smith, but that's not initially how I knock people down. I like to like break fighters down and make them, you know, feel my power and feel the pressure, and then eventually take them out. But I think I just got to land. And when I land, it will wake him up, and whether he decides to fight back or hold, that will be decided. But I think once I land a clean shot, it's going to feel my power, and that will probably be the beginning of the end.
So obviously, again, I don't want to talk about too much future things. So apologies, and feel free to say I'm not interested. But like the European, that's like we haven't necessarily got to that title yet, and obviously we've been up to the world level, failed there, but not too bad. We want to go back up there. Like, when can we sort of get you fighting for these other titles rather than just, you know, defending your undisputed British, because you already won it outright at this point?
Do you know what? I've been asking for these fights like all the time. I always ask for these fights. For one reason or another, they just don't materialise. They don't come through, and it's like everyone knows me already. Like, I'm ready to fight anyone, so I'm always looking at guys, even if it's far-fetched. Like, I've been in the office and asked for Eubank. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I can get that fight, I'd go over there and I'd fight him in a heartbeat. So with the European title, I asked for that millions of times. Couldn't get it at first because Felix was mandatory, and then he pulled out. He weren't really quite sure of his positioning, and now Tyler Denny's fighting for it. So good luck to him, man. And after this fight, we never know. We'll see what can happen.
All right, last couple from me. So on the weekend, we had Kieran Conway versus Linus Udofia. Now, obviously, Kieran, I guess at this point, has put himself a bit in the shop window because he's managed to stop Linus within 6 rounds. Obviously, he had a split decision victory against Linus. So is he now on your radar? I think he called you out for that British. I mean, what's your mindset with regards to that?
I don't even know if he called me out. I ain't seen anything or been tagged in anything that where he mentioned my name. I don't know anyway. But either way, I mean, look, if I'm still in this position when it's time for him to be announced mandatory and stuff, then let's get it on, man. I mean, that's a fight I wouldn't mind. I think it'd probably be a good fight as well. But my aspirations are moving on to world level, but can't keep hanging around here for too long, man. I mean, I won this the third time back in 2020, won it again last year, and it's just like I've been at British level for like 3 years, you know what I mean? Like, no one hangs around this long, but of course I've been on a mission, you know, I just want to stay active, and this is like a bargaining tool. Like, it's like, it allows me to get fights, because who doesn't want a shot at a title? So I don't want to be one of them guys that are in the Who Needs Him club. It's like, he's dangerous, so he ain't got nothing to offer. So I guess this has helped me stay active, so I appreciate it, and if I'm still here when it's this time, then let's get it on, man. And
last one, on the weekend, you've got Yanibek Aliam Kanalai, who was a former opponent of yours, facing Walter Gualtieri. Now it's a unification, IBF and WBO. Are you going to be watching that one? And if so, who have you got your money on? And would you like to fight the winner? I know it's a stupid question, but I want to ask it anyway.
Yeah, no, I'd definitely fight the winner. I mean, I've been asked for a rematch with Yanibek for ages, man. And if Gualtieri manages to beat him, I'll be in the office asking for that fight too. But no, I won't be staying up to watch it. I'm in camp, man. I don't have late nights in camp, man. I hate having late nights. It messes up my week. But I will be waking up the next morning looking for some highlights or some sort of footage in it and looking for the results. But yeah, no, I think it should be a good fight. I do think Yannick wins, but we'll see.
Well, look, Denzel, man, look, best of luck with the rest of camp. Best of luck on the 18th. I probably will see you again before then, but just in case, like, best of luck.
Thank you.